So yeah, I haven't posted a video in a while, and there's a reason for that, actually several reasons. Let me explain what happened. And video file corrupted. So yeah, for right now, until I get this whole setup thing dealt with, I'm gonna record a video that's just me talking to the camera because I need to get something out. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun making stuff that's specifically for songwriters and not just producers or mixers. So yeah, I wanna start doing more songwriting stuff. And the main thing that I see people wanting advice on is writer's block. People will say things like, oh, I have a writer's block. I don't have any ideas right now. So I just really quickly wanted to go through the things that I've found have removed that for me in the past, what the source of that tends to be, and how to remove it. Because it's really frustrating when songwriting is like your way of expression and it feels like nothing's coming out. You feel kind of stuck as a person. So I'll just really quickly go over the things that have helped my writer's block in the past. So to define writer's block, let's look at the definition. Writer's block is a condition primarily associated with writing, in which an author is unable to produce new work or experiences a creative slowdown. This first one I've found to be the main culprit. Sometimes it's these other ones, but this first one is the main one. And it's that you actually don't have writer's block. Like, it's not, from this definition, you being unable to produce new works. That's not the problem. The problem is you're too harsh of a critic on the pieces of music that you're putting out very early on. And the best way I can explain this is every single songwriter on planet Earth has these two little voices in our head. We have somebody who is the creative and we have somebody who's the editor. The creative is the person who just vomits out creative ideas all day. They're the one that's just sort of like throwing things out there. What if we did this? What if we did this? Let's throw this, let's try this. And then the editor is the quality assurance person. They come in after the fact and say, does this work? Does this fit? Do we need to change anything? And what I find so often is that when people say they have writer's block, what's happening is they are giving their editor too much power too early on. They will write the tiniest little section of a song and their editor will come in and be like, it's not done, it's not good, you should get rid of that. And let me clarify, having an editor in your head is not a bad thing. It's good. It's your quality assurance. It's how you know something is actually a good idea. But what will happen is sometimes the creative will start going on this long journey and it needs to develop by just creating a bit, and it gets interrupted by your editor stepping in and being like, well, if this is a finished piece of work, this isn't ready. And it's like, yeah, it's not finished yet. It's almost like if you have to sweep a floor and halfway through sweeping it, a manager comes in and is like, well, this doesn't look clean. You're like, yeah, because I'm not done. You need to give yourself time to let those ideas develop. What I encourage when people are writing is have this dedicated section of time where you just let the creative do whatever the hell they want. Any random lyric idea, any concept, any melody, literally anything goes. Just vomit out all of your ideas. And then at a separate point, at a different point in time in the future, bring your editor in and be like, okay, we have a lot of material that we can use to create from. What's good? What do we keep? What do we get rid of? The creative and the editor are really good teammates, but sometimes they need to be separated. The second most common source of writer's block is the actual foundation of the idea or the song hasn't been properly laid out yet. So Charlie Puth talked in a song breakdown video that he did that when he was writing Attention, this is the mental image he had in his head.
I think it like sounds like if you were in like a hotel room in Miami in 1988 looking out at the ocean and there were white linen curtains blowing in the wind.
This sets the vibe and the tone of everything. You need that kind of foundation before you can actually develop the idea. If I'm convinced, all right, this song is going to be about pirates, and I commit to that idea and that foundation, and I expand on it, there will be a lot more stuff to write from. But if I'm just kind of loosely like, well, it could be about pirates, or it could be about Midwest emo stuff, you will just endlessly go on a rabbit trail where you don't actually commit to anything. And your intention is you want to leave it open-ended so that you as an artist can go anywhere you want, but the end result is you get analysis paralysis because you can literally go anywhere. In my experience, I find it's best to just commit to a vision, a very, very specific vision, and follow that to the end until the song is done. And then at some other point, if you want to change it, come back to it. You need to decide, is this a beach house in Miami in the 80s, or is this the Pacific Northwest northwest. If you don't commit to that vision, you just kind of flip-flop and go anywhere the wind blows you. The third thing that I find causes writer's block is what I call songwriter muscle atrophy. So songwriting is a muscle. It's something that you have to use in order for it to work. Like if you force me to go on the ground right now and do a push-up, I could do it. But if you want me to do a decent amount of push-ups, I'm gonna have to start doing push-ups on a regular basis and training myself to be able to do that. What I find with songwriters is they stay in their room a lot and there isn't really any pressure to write songs. And so they just don't. Or the songs that they do have, they take a really long time to actually finish. And so their songwriter muscle just kind of goes into atrophy. So if you have writer's block, it might just be that you need to do it more. And the fourth reason why I see a lot of writer's block, you have a view of yourself and what kind of music you make and the sound that you have. And you're clinging onto that so tightly that anything that slightly deviates from that, you are instantly categorizing as a bad idea and you're not expanding on it at all. And that kind of ties back to the first one. Because this is so different from how you normally sound, maybe you're somebody who writes really serious songs and you have an idea for a really goofy song. Or maybe you're really set in this one particular genre and you're going into this place that you've never really gone before with your own music. And you're just kind of saying, this isn't my sound, so I just won't even bother. Here's the problem. Your sound is fluid. It changes with you as a person. It's based entirely off of your experiences, the music you're listening to now, and those are never going to be the same. So your sound is going to change drastically over the course of your life. Give yourself permission to write things that are outside of your wheelhouse. Give yourself permission to finish that joke song. Give yourself permission to write in genres that you would never write in. You might find that that is going to be something that you bring with you for the rest of your sound. So yeah, those are my tips for getting over writer's block. If you have any other suggestions, put them down in the comments. If you enjoyed this kind of video more than the sort of DAW walkthrough videos, let me know, because they are infinitely more easier to make. But yeah, hopefully DYD will come back in a couple weeks. Now, go write something cool.